Hey guys, and welcome to this week's video, which is all about the latest addition to the D-Max build, which you might be able to see behind me right now. It's something I am really excited about, and that's my brand new rooftop tent. I've actually had it installed for a couple of months now and used it for a bunch of off-camera camping trips, and I'm really excited to walk you guys through the brand new setup. So what exactly is it? This is the Dune 4WD Nomad 140 clamshell rooftop tent, and if you've never seen one before, it's because it's actually pretty new to the market. This is one of the very first ones, and today we'll just do a bit of a run through of the tent. Not a review as such because I haven't owned it long enough for that, but we'll run through how it sets up, some of the stuff I really like about it, something I've already damaged on the tent, believe it or not, as well as just why I decided to upgrade from my faithful old rooftop tent to this new model. So when I watch rooftop tent videos, the main thing I'm interested in seeing is the main setup procedure of the tent in question. So I thought we'd start with that first up. So this tent comes with 4 latches that hold it closed. 2 of those are on the left-hand side and 2 of those are on the right-hand side. However, for my setup, trying to run the big awning just here close to the tent, those latches were going to cause an issue for me. But luckily with this tent, there's mounting channels the whole way around the outside. And I was able to swap those left latches to the front and to the rear just here, using nothing more than a Phillips head screwdriver because everything slides into those same tracks. Alrighty, we've switched over to the handheld camera so Bianca can follow me around as we set the tent up. And the first step is just to undo these 4 latches. Obviously that's the rear one just there. We have the front one just here that was again swapped from that left-hand side. Then we have our final 2 here on the right-hand side. So 1 and 2. At this point, this is normally when you clip on the included ladder that comes with the tent. You have 2 options for that. One is on the side of the tent just here. This is normally on the left-hand side. I've just swapped these 2 mounts to the right-hand side because the awning's on the left. And we also have one on the back there for the ladder to mount to as well. Obviously with my setup, I have the built-in ladder, so that makes more sense for me just to jump up the built-in ladder like here, grab onto that handle on the tent, give it a push, and the tent sets up using those hydraulic struts, like so. So from this point here, there is an elastic cord here keeping that material in place. All you have to do is just unclip that like so, and then down on the base of the tent on this side, there is a little ring to clip that one to. On the other side is the opposite. So down here, there's a hook to connect that ring to keep that from disappearing around the side of the tent. Now we can just grab the frame here, pull that forwards, and on the side here, also you got to watch you don't do what I just did and hook your strap around, so that's going to stay on that side. Now here there is a silver button on both of these poles. Give that a gentle push in and just lift it, and one on this side as well in the exact same position. With those both pressed in, we can just grab this frame underneath, give it a push up, make sure it clicks into place on both sides, and now we can essentially jump into the tent to finish off the setup. Then up on the roof here behind these flaps, there is a pole just here. That's already in the loosened position, so we can actually put some tension on the front of the tent. So all we have to do is push that forward to tension the front and then twist it to the right to lock it in place. Once that's done, we can then literally zip this closed. And it's like that pole doesn't exist. The last step is to set up these big awnings that go above these side windows. One of my favorite features of these tents, to be honest. So all we have to do to set these up is take these included spring poles just here. They slot into the base of the tent, just like that. And then we bend those, and there's eyelets on the top of these awnings. Pop it through like so. And then we do the same on the front as well, or the back. So that just clips in like so, bend that pole, and from there we can then zip this fly screen shut and head over and do the other awning. So coming around to the left-hand side here, it's the same process, but you'll notice with the awning sitting just here, those spring poles could never access the base of the tent where the little clips normally are. So to get around that, I have made up these custom brackets here. This is just steel that I've clamped in my vise at home and bashed it to try and replicate that same angle on the top there. So that's now bolted into the frame of the tent, and it essentially just raises those pickup points by about 15 centimeters or so. So they are just above that awning. So far they're working pretty well. I wasn't sure if over time they would kind of get bent in from the poles, but we've used this a bunch of times now already, and so far so good, but stay tuned for the long-term review to see how well they last over time. So with those pieces in place there, that allows me to slot these poles in just here above the awning. Obviously there's a bit less space now than there was before, so there's a bit more tension on these poles, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. And if anything, it just makes these windows a little bit more wind resistant, or awnings rather. Just slot Pop that second one in there as well. Same process. And just like that, the second awning is now set up and it clears my main 270 awning down there as well. Taking a look inside, this tent is a big one, which was a non-negotiable for me when considering a new rooftop tent. I didn't want anything that was going to be narrower than our previous rooftop tent because it just worked so well for our needs. And this one, as chance would have it, is the exact same footprint as that previous rooftop tent. So it's just over 2 meters long and 1.4 meters wide internally. And what also makes it feel extra spacious up here is these two main sidewalls almost slant outwards as they come up from the ground, making it feel a lot more roomy overall. The mattress up here is 70 millimeters thick, which is actually made up of a two-part system. So on the top here, we have a 30 millimeter top layer, which I know looks pretty thin, but that's actually sitting on top of a 40 millimeter dense foam underlay. So it creates a 70 mil mattress overall. Now, my previous rooftop tent had that same 40 millimeter base underlay, but the top mattress was actually 50 millimeters thick, so a little bit thicker. So it makes me quite curious to see how this is going to go for our longer trips this year. But for weekenders so far, I haven't noticed too much of a difference, and I still find this quite comfortable, with my preference being on the firmer side. I have also added an anti-condensation mat underneath that mattress just there, because you know, a bit of PTSD from last year. If you know, you know. So that's not something that came with the tent, but it's definitely something I'd recommend getting if you're planning on camping in colder climates. Up on the roof here is something I am particularly excited about. It's one of these built-in roof organizers with the clear tablet holder for movie nights. Tell you what, this would have been awesome for our big lap, but stoked to have it for our trips this year. However, this is the one part of the tent I've actually already damaged, is what I mentioned at the start of the video. So unfortunately, the first few times I packed this tent away, these main windows, I left the canvas piece just kind of folded in the middle of the tent like this, so all that air could escape while the tent was packing down. Not thinking about it, because when it was all collapsed down, the zipper from these windows was pressed firmly against that clear film just there, and it's left some pretty nasty teeth marks in that tablet holder, which is a bit of a shame. I might be able to source another one of these organizers. I'll have to do some research and find out. But if you do end up getting one of these tents for yourself, then please learn from my mistakes. Other than that, there's a couple more storage pockets down the foot area of the tent. There's an AC or power cable inlet built into the side just there, an LED light on the roof that runs off a USB power bank, and that is pretty much all there is on the interior of the tent. I would have loved to have seen a power panel with some USB points to charge your phone and whatnot, but it's not that hard to keep a power bank up here, so definitely not a deal breaker. If you're interested in seeing the pack down procedure as well, I'll chuck a link in the description down below to an unlisted video running through the process in real time. Okay, let's talk about why I've decided to upgrade to this rooftop tent from our faithful old model we used to travel Australia with last year. And there's a few things that I think make this tent a lot more well suited to our setup. Firstly, being able to access that tent from the rear is a huge benefit to our setup, because it means we can actually use that built-in ladder that's always there on the back of the canopy to get into the tent, and not even have to bring along the included ladder to essentially save weight and also space in the canopy as well. That was actually one of the more frustrating parts of our travels last year with the previous rooftop tent. Being a side entry, we had to bring that ladder along, and the only place it fit nicely was right at the back of our storage side of the canopy, and that meant every single night we basically had to empty the entire canopy setup to get our ladder out and set the tent up. So having rear entry is going to be an absolute game changer for us. Secondly, this tent has an integrated fly that covers pretty much the entire tent, and that's something I haven't seen on many rooftop tents at all. What I mean by that is this section just here. This is essentially a super waterproof secondary layer to the main tent material underneath, and that basically gives us double protection against any bad weather conditions coming in. And that, combined with these huge awnings that set up above those windows, should hopefully mean this tent stands up to bad weather really well. Thirdly, this tent is a lot slimmer when it's all packed away, meaning less wind resistance on the road and hopefully better fuel economy as a result. And it also means I can install the included roof racks and still fit in my garage at home. Beyond that, there's also a couple of cosmetic things too, of course, things like that tablet holder inside for movie nights, those awesome big awnings above those windows too, and also just the general look of the tent, because I reckon it looks pretty awesome. One thing worth mentioning is that because this tent is so slim, I can't fit quite as much bedding in it as I could with the previous tent, because that thing fitted an insane amount inside it. But in saying that, I can still fit the anti-condensation mat, a fitted sheet, and a couple of sleeping bags, no troubles, so kind of got the basics covered. You can't fit pillows in here, although Bianca and I have managed to get it to pack down once with pillows inside, but we had to put a crazy amount of force to get it to actually close down. So just for the longevity of the tent, that's not something I'd recommend on a regular basis. Other than that, you'll also notice I've sadly, of course, lost my roof solar panels because they were installed on the previous rooftop tent. And I didn't really want to cut them off because they were pretty permanently installed. I do have a pretty neat solution in mind for this new build, so you'll have to watch this space, this specific space. And that is my new rooftop tent. Now, I don't normally talk about price in videos like this because prices change all the time and I can't edit my videos once they're uploaded. But a lot of you guys do regularly comment asking for price information. So right now, as of April 2026, these tents are around $2.5 grand for Anaconda Club members. And for this size, shape and style tent, I reckon that's a pretty decent price. I am really excited to put this tent to some good use on some bigger trips this year. As I mentioned earlier, I have already used it on a bunch of weekenders and it's been great so far. So I don't see there being any issues on those longer trips too, but stay tuned for that long-term review to find out how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions all about this tent, let me know in the comment section down below or chuck me a message through Instagram and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll catch you in the next one.